we go. I was saying that artwork is so amazing. Devra, how's it going? Yeah. The surprise visit. I try. There's like few moments in the day I open up Twitch that I can actually comment and watch. So when I just open it up and it's like, okay, who's on? Looks like we've dropped a few frames on the network. I live on your left screen. Excellent. Who's on right now? Yeah, I unfortunately I can't stream tomorrow either. It always seems to be when I start to build a new audience that I kind of things happen and I get caught up in other stuff. No, it's how do I? There we go. Doctors, I had yesterday a speech therapy appointment for my son. Colt, how's it going? Cole. I think I follow you on Twitter, right? Maybe. Yep, I'm in the C sharp world. Like comets. It's Haley Bop every 70 years. Oh, that's right. We're doing load testing. Okay, well, we're going to come back to this. Let's get us back to normal. Yeah, we're 100% G sharp on the project now. How about all that Unity stuff, huh, guys? Honestly, I can't believe anybody stuck with Unity when the CEO was quoted as calling. I believe his wording was that the developers are dumb fucks. Was literally a quoted thing he said to the press. And it's like, well, you know, I think on principle, I'm not going to use Unity anymore. Sticks, how's it going? Suddenly I'm, what's the middle Brady? See, the thing is that was my suspicion, was that there was obviously more to the story here. And you don't, if you think about it, in your Unity, you don't want to cater to the small dev. Like, you need the low end side of Unity to be such that people have to use that to get a job for the higher end guys that license the stuff. Ah. I see. So if you're doing their in-app ads, then all this is waived. I mean, eventually, you know, you're Activision, and it's like, okay, all right, guys, how hard is it for us to roll our own Unity? Like, let's really think about this. Because I could easily see what I could see happening is there are plenty of big developers that have in-house engines that at some point it'll be like, well, wait a minute. Like, how hard would it be to have us get this to be able to ship to the public? And what would support cost us? And what would a licensing, like if we provisioned licensing for this, what would that look like? And at some point, I would imagine one of these other devs that has an in-house engine the light bulb will click and it'll be like, wait a minute. People want to leave Unity. They're not comfortable going to something like Godot because of, you know, there could be any number of reasons why they don't feel good about that. They don't, but I don't know. You know, they're stuck in the C# stuff or whatever, and so they're looking for something like that. But yeah. I mean, the funny thing about the whole Unity thing in the first place is that it's got people afraid that they can't go anywhere else. So there's really a Florence Nightingale thing going on. And then they also do a lot of things that banks do where they cross-sell. So the more you buy from the Unity store, the more you feel trapped, like you shouldn't leave. You invested all this money, and if you leave, you're leaving all that money on the table. So you get a sunken cost fallacy going on, and you feel like you can't leave. And there's devs that are just as hooked buying Unity packs or whatever they want to call it as people who buy on the summer sales on Steam. And they just collect so much that they can't leave the platform. They don't feel like they can. That's why I always was like, their target is addicts. Yeah, seriously. I guess it depends on if Activision is going to start rolling. Like, if I wonder if Activision just on any of their mobile products does that. That's the other thing, is they can sort of negotiate. But I do know that there are some people that are working for. I know. Yeah. I've heard some guys that actually work for pretty large companies that are using Unity that they eat it a lot with this this per install thing, and that this isn't new to them. But I think it's dumb, and I think you should just make it simple. Make it simple. You know, the more that the funny thing is this is starting to turn into like, it's starting to look like mobile monetization for a game engine. And fundamentally misunderstanding how a game engine is used and how the software is distributed with that engine. It shows a complete lack of understanding of the industry, and it's not a good place to see an engine that big starting to mess around in. Well, I mean, the best explanation I heard was back when this last kerfuffle happened with Unity. And somebody had, the way that they had put it is, this guy spent his career at EA figuring out how to monetize, like to sell things in bits and pieces and all that stuff. And he's doing that to a game engine because that's all he knows how to do. And so it's like, well, what can we take apart from this engine and sell in pieces? And then there's some guy there's people on the board that are like, well, you can't. And he's like, well, there's got to be something like that. And they're like, well, there's the game itself. I mean, there's multiple installs of the game well, oh, really? What if we charge per install? You know, I mean, I joked somewhere else, but how long until there's ads in the Unity developer software? You know, and you have to pay like a pro monthly cost or some sort of like ad. You know, there's pro and regular user, but then there's also tiered pricing to not have ads, just like with streaming. Now, if you think so, I know you were going hard in that. The thing is like the money thing. Here's the problem, and this is where you start to in my mind you start to, well, it's only 200, right? I'm never going to even make that much money. First of all, don't think that way. Yeah, remove ads in the editor for sure. Or like get rid of tracking. There's going to be like they already phone home. I'm certain about that. But anyways, the problem is once they start to establish this, is the amount going to go up or down? Which do you think? Right? And is how much you make going to go up or down? And if you just answer those questions for yourself, if this footing works and people accept this, which way do those two things go? Right? Over time, is the per install fee going to go up or down? Right? Is the amount that they're going to start the per install fee going to go up or down as well? Those are two critical questions you got to ask yourself. Because again, once they establish this, it's like, well, those are two little metrics that they can start to fiddle with, and it just doesn't make sense for the. It doesn't make sense for the platform. Zero, how's it going? That's I mean, you know, that's the problem with any of this stuff. I mean, you got different issues with open source stuff, right? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, And I do laugh at the Unity. Like, there's people that are like, I don't know. Godot does have some structural things that you have to absolutely buy into. One of the nice things about doing C# in Godot is that you can kind of bypass the engine stuff for quite a lot of things. So you can just roll your own, really, and use just the parts of Godot you need, You are buying into the 2D and 3D stuff for sure. Because at that point... But I've seen devs that have software that they've written that they just sort of piggyback onto Godot to get it installed onto, say, console or something. There's a lot of people that are porting old games. I believe one of the Sonic games for one of the Nintendo consoles did this. They used Godot as like the launch pad to get the existing software onto the console. Thing is they're getting, and I'm guessing they were doing it for maybe controller inputs and stuff like that. I'm not sure though. They're going to steer away from game dev for the general public, like IBM offering the cloud services. Start moving to AAA alliances on top of the cinema industry things. Dev, I know we're both winners in this situation. I guess if we're to think about this in like winning, like winner take, like something like that. But here I am researching a weird ass error message with Skeleton Mod 2D. So we're looking into this right now. And we've got some performance issues that appear to be on the engine side. So that's my world right now. August 8th. This was opened on the February 13th. Oh, Jesus. I regret not learning Unity before, though. What do you mean, Colt? All right. So here's what's going on. Here's what we're working on. So we've got our little animations here for that we're starting to key out. I was practicing this. I don't know a lot about how the looping works, so you can see there's a weird little hitch here. Because I thought that things would loop around, but they're not liking that. So you can kind of see it like appears to start over. There's also some weirdness with like a reset animation firing. But we've got these base animations here. You can see, oh, you know what? I think it's just showing what the tween would look like between the 2 points when you switch between different ones. Maybe that's all that is. Oh, why are we going back and forth? We should repeat. Yeah, see, this is strange. Oh, on selling migrations to Godot? Like doing like tutorials or something? Yeah. I mean, the question, I'd start looking at, like, how much money are they putting in their sales team? Like, how much is on Unity sales? How many sales guys do they have versus how many people working on the engine? The other thing is if they have a ton of people working on the engine, that might not be the best sign of the shape of things. Well, the thing is we don't want to have any keyframes at the beginning, and I've talked to Mariano about this. But he says if you leave a gap and then on your initial frames you set them up to be capture, then when you roll from one animation to the next, it'll tween the steps between. But if you start out with a keyframe right at the beginning, it's going to snap to that next animation immediately. Yeah. So like if we were to, let me run this. And if I just type something, my character should appear. So there he is. And he's doing the idle. It's actually kind of hard to read it right now because he's so small. So we definitely do have some weird looping. Like my little guy's there on the screen right now. And if somebody else sends a message or something, they'll appear on the screen as well. But we want to fix these. See that weird glitch right now that's happening? It's firing the walk animation in between. So I don't know how to fix some of this stuff because it seems to be tweening the start of the walk animation with the idle, even though we're repeating the idle animation. So this is the kind of stuff I'm just not sure how to do. I'm just running play in the name of the animation. So I'm wondering if what I need to be doing is somehow building them onto like as another Drent, how's it going? Have a good one. I missed you on Styx's stream. We're two ships passing in the night. So yeah, this weird little hitch here. Let's go back to the animation player. What's our default animation? Reset on save. Maybe this is what we want. Let me rerun this. Test. And I might have to sign into multiple. Nah, it's still doing it. Look at that. Yeah, just keeps doing it. Can I kind of see it shimmer like that? See that? Look at that. When I click on and off, what the hell's that about? Add reset values. Delete selection. Animation. We want to delete this one. Remove. Let's look at walk. Does walk have reset values? Where am I? Edit. Add reset values. See, this I don't get. Do we make our starting steps the animations? What happens if I do that? I'm going to save and add reset values, presuming that's what we just did there. Let's run the walk. See, it just starts from a dead stop. There is some sort of tweening. That's where we end it. Okay, that looks pretty smooth. I mean, to start with. Let's save that. Let's see how that looks. We should get some music on. I'm just going to put on some generic chill beats. Your typical chill beats. Test. It's still hitching. We got to do some reading. Anyone watch that Nintendo Direct? Yeah, he's a good doggy. He's getting better every day. He's a rescue. He just showed up on our porch one day. Let me get the camera to look a little bit better. It's like I always wanted a German Shepherd too. So it's kind of like a dream dog. Just appeared. He's just a little mouthy. If he just stopped being so mouthy, it's just to me mostly. Me and my wife. He just gets so excited to see us. Supposedly it's the breed is that way. Like when they're pups. He'll just like clamp his mouth on my arm. It's like, dude, stop. Let me get the picture of the doggo here. There we go. There he is. All right. Let's do some reading on this animation stuff. Because there's clearly stuff we don't understand here. Current animation. Stop. Baby, I'm going to take you down to the river. I'm going to take you down to the river. Take you down to the river. Yeah. Baby, and take you down. Sean, I'm on 411. I'm kind of wishing I was on 3 though. It's not a large raid, but it's an honest one. It is no biggie. Switch to docks. Is this on 3? What the heck? How did that happen? Thanks for noticing. It's about girth. It's not about length. It's the girth of the raid that matters. Contains dictionary animation libraries. Okay, so each animation library is a list of animations. Okay, so we're going to animations here. And what we're carrying for ourselves with is... It's called TMI. Update mode. How this property is set. Okay, so update mode. Here we go. Update mode. Continuous. Updates between keyframes and hold the value. Update at the keyframes. Same as linear interpolation, but also interpolates from the current value, i.e. dynamically at runtime, if the first key isn't at 0 seconds. Okay, so that's what we're at. So let's ask a question here. Maybe okay, so for the walk animation, the walk animation is on a loop right now. Let's turn the loop off and see how that looks when it animates that. I mean, it really just depends on let me turn the volume down here. It really just depends on what happens with, like, it's my understanding that a game like Vampire Survivors, for instance, just wouldn't have existed in this world. You know what I mean? Because I believe that game sold for super cheap. And if you sold for super cheap and you make 200K and it's like, yay, but it's like $1 game, right? Now suddenly you're like, oh no. It's like, wait a minute. I'm going to owe them money more than I made after a certain point. Because you got like, you got what? Steam taking 30%, maybe a publisher taking another chunk, then the 20 cents from each install from Unity, and suddenly it's like, oh no. Ah. But the other scenarios that I was thinking of is, imagine you're a small dev team of like 5 people. So you hit the 20K requirement. I believe it's revenue. So it's not even like, take home or whatever. I don't know though. Okay. So you're making that, but your whole platform is releasing $5 games, right? And then suddenly it's like, oh my God, we're going to owe so much money to Unity. And it really, really hits the bottom line where it's like, do we even do this model anymore? And this is the thing. It's like, I just take a cut. Like, I don't get it. How hard is it to not just take a cut? Like a cut of the sale or something simple. I don't know. Free to play. Right. Well, they'll just change their models, I guess. It's not like they're noble, right? They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. It's like they see a cut of that money, they want it. It's like, those guys are making so much money, and if they're using our engine, we should have some of that. It's like they agreed to your deal, dude. But it's also gross because it's also supposedly like all old Unity stuff too. So does that mean that if you update Unity and then you release a new version of your software, that's when you get screwed? Right. That's why it's just take a cut. Just take a cut. And if you don't, I don't know. Yeah. If you don't want people releasing games for free with your stuff, and then making money on some other end. It's funny because it's like they out Unity to Unity. So now, I don't know. The real danger too is that you make it unappealing for entry level people to come in and use this to like learn how to make games, right? And so you start to lower the talent pool unintentionally, but the net effect is the talent pool of people that are using Unity starts to shrink. Maybe it was made with Unity. But if you do something that can drastically lower the new adopters, the new talent that could use Unity, and you make it something that is only a AAA thing in the first place. Yeah, exactly. The thing is like Unreal's not falling down this rabbit hole. Right. Well, I think the other possibility is that they know that the future for it's not there. So they're just going to squeeze out as much as they can before people figure out that they have no plan for the engine itself. You know? It's my understanding some of the stuff recently that they've done is really just repackaging old things and calling it something else. Um, but I don't know. I don't follow the engine that well, so this is all just me talking out of my ass. Indicates the animation proceeds without any looping. The flag indicates that the animation has reached the end of the animation and just after loop processed. Flag indicates that the animation has reached the start of the animation just after loop processed. So what the hell is this about? Oh, yeah. I'm going to take it slow, baby. Right. It's like watch, then he where's he hopping to next, I wonder? I've experienced this. This is why I left for the corporate space. I've been under a CTO that was came in and fucked everything up. He's like, I want everything done this crazy way that nobody does it. Let's go we'll get some dog pats here. We'll do dog cam. I want it to be this crazy way nobody does it. All this stuff, right? And oh, by the way, I gotta go. He left. They refactored everything, remodeled all the accounting structures and everything, and then he's like, "Peace. Hope your next guy likes this." We'll get some pats in here. Get it on the big. Here we go. Oh my goodness, what a boy. Love you, buddy. Get back to it, okay? Yeah, the thing's broken again. Oh God, guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to come in and this is gonna take me at least 3 hours. I'm gonna have to charge you a consultant fee. Did you hear a story about Paradox? New CEO effed up so hard they called in the old one from retirement. But this is the funny thing about that stuff. What CEO hires generally, I believe the outgoing CEO has some input on who to hire. I know that this happened with Disney recently, right? It's like, you should hire that guy. That guy really knows what he's doing. All right, I'm going to retire now. I'll retire. And then the new guy they bring in hoses everything. And then it's like, shit, you guys need me? I told you that guy was an idiot. So they get their little, parachute, and then they get to come back and get another one. Our man at EA, gamers are stupid. Let's milk them. Our man at Unity, game devs are stupid. We can milk them. No, he doesn't seem to be proving wrong the second time either. Healing in progress. Yeah, the idea is that these are if we can get the animation smooth. I could make a guess here, but it was in Sweden and she was a woman maybe. They wanted her. Oh, so okay. Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking we go to 24. Let's delete these ones out. So let's go to 24. 25. Oh, yeah. That looks damn smooth. For me not being an animator. So this looks right. So here's the deal. We tell it to play again. So we need to add a check that says, hey, is this animation that we're saying, okay, there's a check we have to add. Okay, here's what it is. Okay. So if we go over and we look at the avatar, and we look at what's triggering the play animation. I believe it's just play somewhere. Play verb. There she is. Okay. So basically we're just saying, okay, give me the name of the animation to play, right? We need to add a check here that essentially goes, okay, we want to play this animation. Is it already playing? And if it is it an animation that is looping? Is it a repeat? Does it repeat? And if it's a looping animation, then we go, okay, we played it, but it was already playing in the first place, so we don't need to have it play again. Because what we're doing is we're telling the animation to start over from the beginning early when it's a looping animation. We don't care about that, right? Let me just run it again and see if this looks cleaner, though. Is my mental healing? Yeah, I've been a little stressed lately, for sure. What is this? See, why is this happening? Yeah, my buddy, he works for a college, and he's gotten training on hiring. And it's a little kind of weird now. Cuz it's like, we're not saying that you can discriminate people when you hire. It's so weird because it's just changing where the metric of discrimination is occurring, but they're saying it's a good kind. But it's like, if you're met with a candidate and they have these qualifications, you should seriously consider them for the position. But it has nothing to do with the qualifications of the position. And it has to do with immutable attributes of the individual. Although I guess only one's kind of. But I mean, it ends at the same point. That looks good. Where it starts. This looks good. No, he looks like he's limping. So it's too soon. It's too soon, Deborah. Anyways, we'll keep this and let's add the code for what I'm talking about. So, animation player, does animation player tell us about, let's see. Now there's some way to get to the docs just in here, right? Is playing is a bool, but it doesn't tell us what's playing. Current, find animation library, get animation library. Has animation, is playing is just a bool. Q, seek. Set process. Current animation is a string. Okay, so we have current animation, and then there's also something like get animation, string name. So, okay. So we need to get the current animation. If the current animation is the same as the one we're asking to play, we need to check and see if that animation, what its loop mode is. Okay, so animation player, current animation. So we've got current animation, and then we've got get animation, and that's getting it from the library. But which library? Animation player returns the animation with the key name. With the key name, if the animation does not exist, null is returned, and an error is logged. So I need to be streaming sooner. Is that right, Pooh? Because for a while there, I was able to start my streams at around for me, it was in the afternoon around noon. Is that a better time? I think that's a better time for everybody. And most people that watch me, right, are in Europe. Returns animation with the key name. Yeah. For your time zone. Okay, so if it does not equal the current animation, then we say to play. So this is not 100% of what we want. And it doesn't contain a because we're dealing with C#, and so it's like that. Does not equal, cannot be applied to string. Animation's animation name. That's right, because we're using an enum to play from. It's of type animations. Okay. So that should fix the weird looping issue. Mean which time +2. So when we're walking, see, it's snapping still. Bro. Current animation is a string, correct? I guess we can go back here. It should look like this. But it's just like snapping. So it's continuing to play idle. And it's only playing walk, so the walk is looping. And that's what it looks like. It looks like crap. All right, let's go back. This is another thing. I don't know how to get over to the Bezier curve. Cross animation blend times. Next, auto cue. I don't know what the hell this is about. And this is in seconds. So this is closer to what's actually happening. Maybe I'm figuring this out. Maybe I'm figuring this out. Hang on. Let's see what this does. So I added the ending portion of the walk animation before it loops again as the reset. So if it's playing and it applies the reset at the beginning of the animation, there we go. So there's a little bit of a hitch. It's like the guy's got a false leg or something. Okay, so I think I can fix the idle animation now too. All right. Shit, look at that. Now it's snapping. I obviously don't understand what reset's about. Colt's in there with the test. And let's set up idle here. So idle, just the legs bend. And then it just loops. So let's set the ending point here to 0.8. Right at the tail end here. Then we're going to select the elements that actually need to be added as a reset value to that. Then we save it. So that's more like... And then what I'd love to do, because we can get pretty complex with this. Yeah, there's a lot we can do here. I love the idea of stacking animations. If I know I'm only animating the legs, then we can do whatever we want with the hands even, right? So I could have multiple animations for, I mean, yeah. There could be like running and waving and like, I don't know. There's some possibilities here. There's interesting possibilities. Let me rerun this. Did I break you guys when I did this? Yeah, I broke it. All right, I'm going to restart it. You guys can join in if you want just to see what's going on. I got to let the dog out. He's asking to go. And now no animations are firing. Oh, there we go. No. All right, let's read about reset because clearly we're not getting something about that. Animation reset. Oh my God, it's full of tests. Heck yeah. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Let me do a shout out to Obsidian. I don't get to see Obsidian much anymore. Every time. Oh, I forgot the B this time. Having a stroke. Obsidian is also a Godot developer, so if you're out there lurking, trying to see if you should get your feet wet in Godot, he's another guy to check out. What not to do? What are you talking about? Let's look up what this clamp and this wrap do. Wraps the interpolation loop. Maybe that's what we're needing to do. So we'll set every value that changes to clamp the loop. I don't know. We'll do the same for walk. So clamp, 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 clamp. And let's see what this looks like. And then test to bring ourselves in. Ah! No animations are playing. Same problem. Why? Why? Because we're doing capture. And if we don't have any keyframes on 0, then when you trigger from one animation to another, it'll tween the points between the two animations. So what's confusing though is we get this weird sort of reset ghost that occurs when we have something with this setup going on and the loop and the animation loops. Then it like fires. You could use animation tree node for tweening between animations. Is that like that state machine thing? It's weird it wasn't showing up in the API when I scrolled through it. Yeah. Every time I've tried to mess with this, my so but you can set up broad animations in the animation player, then control parts of each animation in the animation tree. Right. I was talking about doing something like that where we can control like the animations of the upper body and the lower body differently. But like if you read about update mode, it's funny because I consider both you and Mariano the two guys to talk to about this. Mariano's the one who suggested I do it this way. But yeah, so update capture is what we're set to. The same as linear interpolation, but also interpolates from the current value, i.e. dynamically at runtime, if the first key isn't at 0 seconds. So whatever the time is between 0 and when you start your keyed frame, it'll interpolate to that point. But it seems like when we're looping, there's something about the reset, which is funny because when I search reset on animation, so I'm basically what I said on some tutorials I saw recently. I see. But yeah, so this is the thing that I think is really burning me, is this whole reset value thing. And also I can't get to the damn curves. Like when you first create the animation, it's like, do you want to do it with curves or not? And now I want to go to the curves. There's a button to, but I can't get to it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do to get there. And then there's this whole transitions thing, and I have no idea what this is about. Okay, I'll check that out here in a second. I think I know what's going on though. The more I think about it. The key. These don't change. I was changing the wrong ones. So it's these. If this was what it was, it would be these ones. Hang on a second. We're going to do this for walk and idle. Because those are the two that we're going to. And then it's going to be just the torso going up and down. Let's see what we get here. But you're using bones, so it should work just as well for a 2D. Okay, good. Yeah, I'll check it out here in a second. Now, see, I think I get part of what this is about. I think I get it. The loop is only, but it's something to do with the reset. This is the only thing that's keyed to change. So the hip animates fine, but all the other elements are playing like a phantom of the see, it's even happening here right now because the last animation I played was the walk. Yeah, see. Why are we suddenly off on the... I'll watch that video here in a second. See? No, that's the scale. Something's off. Oh, it's because we were having the torso highlighted. And the torso comes down. Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. PS, PlayStation event lasted like 5 minutes. What a disgrace. What? What was it? I think we might have just peaked at a golden age of modern gaming. I think we may have just peaked. We like literally are at the top, and it's going to be downhill for a while. In terms of depending on what you consider, like as far as like the ridiculous production stuff that's put into modern games, but I would say as far as like new gaming experiences, like gameplay, the ideas of what you could do with games, that's been stagnant for a long time. But in terms of like production, right? I think we may have peaked for a bit. I don't know. Mm. In Skimner, how's it going? Or is it Imskimnator? Is it Imskimnator? Anyways, how's it going? I'm sure I'm saying some sort of bad word. Pooh says, unless graphical creation gets faster, and I mean high quality 3D models, we won't get good looking games that are innovative because big companies are too scared of failure. Yeah. And Skiminator, like the Terminator. Nice. Okay. Hope everyone's doing good. Noi. Noyan Rain? Is that how you say that? How's it going? Noya in rain. Noya's fine. All right, sounds good. How's it going? We're watching a video right now. Almost done. Trying to stay awake. I might actually grab some caffeine here in a second. Six was talking about you. I hope it was all good. She's talking about my famous nude streams, I'm sure. Something about my dog. Yeah, he's a cutie. He's actually outside right now. I could bring him back in here in a second when I go grab a drink. He has to go potty, so I let him out. But he showed up on our porch one day, and he was like, I live here now. I gotta go potty. But yeah, it showed up on our porch and it was growling, but the thing is it like knew, it's like, this guy likes German Shepherds, so I'm gonna come here. So he showed up and he was growling. My wife's like, there's a dog on the porch that won't leave. And normally there's like dogs that'll come into our yard and we can just kick them out. But this one was like, nah, I'm staying. So then I fed him, and I brought the kids out when I fed him, and he was like, oh my God, I love kids. I'm staying. I'm here forever. You're my best friend. So that's pretty much what it's been like. And he's a puppy. He's huge though, but he's a puppy. But he's a really good dog. We're just starting to let him spend the night in the house in our bedroom. But he's doing great. Then we fed him was probably still the deal. Yeah, he's like, finally. But yeah, he was skin and bones. He was like really emaciated and stuff. He's still really skinny. It took a while for his tummy to settle down. It's about 2 months ago. We're heading towards 3. Yeah. But he's a big dog. We got him, we don't know where he came from. He had a collar but no tags, and he wasn't chipped. And so we just took him in. Give me a second. I'll go grab him. I'm going to go grab a drink, and we'll keep... Yeah, I'm still going to try and figure out what's going on with the animations here. I'll get the chat stuff going so you guys could just, when you talk on the chat, you'll be up on there, your little characters. But we're trying to smooth out these animations for the characters moving around. So I'll be right back. There's like weird little glitchinesses with it. right. Okay, I'm back. Everyone's in the corner. What's that about? That's us in the corner. Oh, actually, there's a ton more videos for that I need to add to the playlist. I have it set up. My uploads are private. And then I have to go through in every single damn video. I have to say, okay, make it public. And I always forget to do that. So, and I actually moved where I'm uploading all my YouTube videos because I made a separate, like an archive YouTube channel because I want to start posting videos on YouTube at some point. And I know that having a bunch of streaming videos and then like other kinds of videos, you start to screw with your subscribers and stuff when you mess around with that. I need to get it updated. Let's see. BSS and its platform. First stream was I was here, he worked on it. Since then we've had a barbecue together, remodeled his child's room, adopted a dog. Haven't seen the game since. It'll be there. It'll be back soon. There's the doggy. There he is. He's cleaning the old hide. He's all curled up. He usually doesn't curl up like that. He usually takes the entire length of the couch right now. Yeah, he's a good boy. And we've got our little Pocahontas bear. I don't know. It's some like native bear thing. He found it. He's just keeps finding stuffed animals, and we're like, fine, take it. He's destroying everything. He's teething and like, oh god, it's a nightmare. First like week when he would stay in the bedroom at night, it was just us constantly. What is it now? Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. But he finally last night was just like, hey, I'm just gonna come in and just chill. And it was the best thing ever. And he just came in and he's like, I know this room now. I don't need to inspect everything. Because he really just wanted to know what was everything. Where is everything? What are all these smells? And it was just like a week of that. It was maddening. It was like having a baby again. But he's finally calmed down. So we only let him in at night. Yeah, the tactics game is still alive. It's all in here right now. And then we're probably going to be moving all that over to 4 at some point. Speedrun babies, yeah. There's a meme of the German Shepherds where it's like the first like 8 to 6 months they're a cute little puppy, and then for like 2 years it's like 36 months it's a Velociraptor. Pure chaos. Hell yeah. I'd love to see that. That would be the irony is I get this going, I get the Lua scripting going for it, and somebody makes a tactics game in this faster than I can make my own. Thanks for the follow. Let me get my managed stream stuff going so I can see who it was. Gotchi. Thank you. I always feel weird saying thanks for people following. Like, am I doxing them or something? Not doxing, but I know some people just want to lurk. Come on. Get back up. Hey, buddy. I love you. Come here. Oh, what a big doggo. What a big doggo. Don't chew on those cables. Don't chew on those cables. Calvin, come on, buddy. Come on. cow. Here. Take this. Take this. Hey, hey. There you go. I think he's going to lay down. Nice poo. Was that your first poo? Pooh's going to find out there's way better streamers than me. Why is this happening like this? See, this is what we want the idol to look like, but when we switch between animations, it starts to wig out. Let's see what this looks like. It's similar to Devereaux's, yeah. Multi-processing ability of a Celeron. Blindfold on earplugs in. Other channels don't exist. See, why is it doing that? But the tween on the... God, this is driving me nuts. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Are you asking to go out? All right, hang on. He's barking at the door. I think he knows fall is on its way here, and he's ready. He's like trying to enjoy the sun as much as possible before it starts to get real cold. Where I am, it snows. Yeah, it's coffee. We'll call it coffee. Black gold. Why is the see how the knees are fine? Damn it. Let's okay, we got to figure this out. Animation player. It's this whole reset values, but then when I search anywhere for this, there's like no explanation for it. If I search reset in animation, there's literally nothing. Okay, so but this is on a per track. But there's nothing for like a specific track. Reset values. Is there a call I need to do set some sort of... The question is, as a looped animation, does it consider its own loop as a previous animation, or is it always blending? Exactly, and that's what I think is going on. Ah, Discord. We're going to check Discord here. So that's what I think you're right, Obsidian. That's what I think is going on. So I'm almost wondering if what I want to do is at the end of this animation, if there's some way to key the reset to the ending part of the animation as it loops, then it'll blend again to itself, clean again. You know what? If that makes sense what I'm saying. All right, let's check our Discord here. Oh, is this a PM? Is it okay if I open the PM on the stream, Pooh? Do you want me to do it off? Sure, I think. I mean, we did send those nudes to each other, so but I think it's a couple scrolls up. No, we'll keep it a secret. Oh man, that's great. I love it. I love that the sketch look is staying. So the thing that we're going to want to figure out is the blending. That'll be interesting to see how that ends up looking. It looks great. What's going on? Something happened. Thanks for the Noya. Thanks for the follow. I'm very new to game dev, but multiple people were in my stream today being angry or sad about Unity. We talked about it a bit. I've used Unity once recently for a jam game sometime this year. I was shocked that the default project size. We started a new project, nothing in it, 2 gigs. I was like, why is this okay? Why is everyone okay with this? Just from that, I was kind of astonished. 2 gigs of a bunch of like XML information or something, whatever Unity needs to do its thing. But I was stunned by the default project size, because when you're in Godot, the default project size is like, there's an icon that they throw in there. And it's like, that probably takes up more space than all the other information in the project folder. Yeah. And I thought we were doing something wrong. I thought something was wrong. You could not loop the animation at the end. Watch for animation finish signal. If the animation finishes, then you want to loop, you just play it again. Yeah. We could do that. I mean, if we did that, laughs in Unreal, Dev says. Unreal's even bigger for defaults. Unreal does all that crazy like shader compilation and stuff, right? So it's probably even bigger. Miss Cricket's the wife, sometimes my kid. I'm a web dev originally. So, same here. So I chose a web engine to get started. Phaser. Let's look up Phaser. Phaser game engine. Phaser. Program Pong in Unreal. WebGL and Canvas. So is this like a JavaScript? What are you writing in this thing? It's just JS. Gotcha. JavaScript. Yeah, TypeScript / JavaScript. Gotcha. Phaser. Anywhere is a good place to start. Yeah. I've been kind of interested in, there's a guy who does Pygame stuff on YouTube that I like. Noya, I could give you a bunch of devs to check out for Pygame. Who's the guy? The Fluffy Potato. I like his videos and watching him do his development. I also like his graphical style and stuff. But I think he did a VR game in Pygame. No, Godot 4. Yeah, he used Godot for the VR stuff. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, I mean, Godot would be interesting to you then, because GDScript is very influenced by the syntax of Python. So I don't think you'd have a hard time kind of dipping your toes into the scripting language that's in Godot. I would recommend if you go straight to scripting on GD script and then the reference, you get to see they've got initially they start out with just like here's what the syntax looks like, and then it just breaks down the keywords of the language and then comparisons and all that stuff, and it's not a lot to learn in it. And then once you got that down, all you really need to know is, you get to your types, the types that are used. And then you just jump into the class reference. And then it's just like, you can go through these and start to kind of open them up and see what they do. Get an idea about them. And then when you open up Godot and you're in the engine, anything on the right-hand side here, and when you add a node here, you're going to get the class name that it's using. And then if you go over here, any of the, well, my camera is blocking everything, so let me get it like this. So any of this stuff here is part of the inheritance tree. So node 2D inherits canvas item, which inherits node. So, although canvas item, this isn't accurate actually, because I think canvas item is before node. But yeah, you can see all the properties and stuff exposed here in the engine, so you get an idea of that. Then when you reference the docs, anywhere here you can right-click Open Documentations. It'll take you straight to the documentation for the thing. So you can really start to just the engine will teach you, and it's. Canvas item is after node. Yeah, so that's wrong. Usually this is right. Both Obsidian and I are like, wait a minute, that ain't right. That ain't right at all. Canvas item, is a 2D node. No, it is right? Okay. Let's look at up here. Actually, if you go up here, so node 2D inherits canvas item, then node, then object. Everything sources from object. So you really want to just start to memorize object, because object is everything, right? So the more you know about object, the more you're going to know about everything else. And then as you get, as you choose something to work on, you can just look at the inheritance and know that you have access to, because we're talking OO, right? We're doing oops. So the object-oriented stuff, you look at the inheritance tree, you have access to all those things. There are some like cases where when you do certain things, some stuff will override it. Specifically, like especially when you're starting to do with the GUI stuff, things get a little weird, and the GUI stuff will start to add behaviors and things to something that you might not be expecting. Specifically when you're resizing, say something. But when you start to use containers and stuff like that, it's a little bit much to wrap your head around, but once you get it, it makes sense. But anyways, it's pretty thick. It makes sense that node after canvas item would be after node, because canvas is like where everything's drawn. So you can do like a node in your scene tree and it's not going to draw. Right. So for whatever reason, if you happen to need, you want to throw an object in here, but not have it be an element that have it be in your scene tree, but not have something that's being drawn, then you just throw it in as a node. Yeah. There's way more to it than that. There's a lot of stuff going on. One of the things I've recently started messing around with is you can create your own project settings in here, your own custom project settings. Inherits from node, right? But it's I mean, I like it, but I don't know. I think if I was ever going to switch engines, I would start from scratch just to see what I could do from scratch. If that day ever came. And not 100% from scratch. Not like I'm starting from OpenGL. I'd grab something like Raylib or something like that. So Obsidian's got an idea that I think's worth pursuing. This whole reset thing. Start from assembly. Yeah, start from scratch. Build your own GPU driver, dumbass. Build your own graphics library. What's wrong with you? First you find a rock. I tried that when I was in college. Dear God. I feel so bad. When I was in college, there was a kid that like let me borrow, I think it was actually a really early version of Game Maker. We're talking, this was early aughts. I believe it was Game Maker. He gave me the discs and I lost them. And I felt so bad. And I was so mad because I was like, I have no idea what happened to him. And I was trying to be so careful about it. But I will confess, I was still living with my mom at the time, and she had this propensity to go to my room and clean, and she would just put like things together. And I think she just organized them away from existence. I recall finding them in like a CD spool years later. The Games Factory. Maybe that was it. I remember it. The color scheme of the disc and the manual that he let me borrow were like, there was some, it was like gray and purple. I remember that sort of being the color scheme. I can't quite remember what it was. Click Team Fusion. That sounds familiar too. I always wondered what would have happened if I had access to something like that early into my like post high school life. Game Maker 1. What did it look like? This looks familiar. I wouldn't have been on XP at the time. This looks super familiar. I think this was it. Damn. Yeah. I think it was this. Anyways. He was a nice guy. I feel bad. I feel like I was kind of a jerk to him. I think he's just looking for friends, and I kind of that's one of those, you ever have those things in life where you're like, dang, I wish I don't know. You just sort of like, man, I was kind of a, like, I wish, I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense. Anyways. I wish I redid 99% of my life. Then you have kids and you're like, now's my chance. And then you feel like you're screwing that up too. You're like, damn. So everything I do is, I'm just the worst at it. So this is what we want. So we're going to go with here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a flag here for loop. So this will be a bool loop. We need some sort of ref for all those old shameful memories. So many nudes. Why did I take all those nudes? Dang it. I'll never be able to work in government. Wait a minute. That's starting to change even. I'm a lurk for a while. All right, Obsidian. Have a good one. So I'm trying to remember. It's been a while in C#. I'm actually, I haven't had a code in a bit. Microsoft C#. Getting started. And we're looking for generics. APIs.net. It's going to be like list. Generics list. It drives me nuts that the Microsoft C# docs start with examples first and then give you the properties and all that stuff after. But we're going to look into, before we pursue that approach, let's look into specifies the blend time in seconds between two animations referenced by their keys. If we recall last animation, when we go to play a new animation, if we know that the last animation was the same animation, then maybe there's a way to set the keys that it's building off of somehow. Custom blend, custom speed. So play has some options here. Custom blend. And that's using float. Custom blend times and speed can be set. Interesting. Okay. The from end option only affects when switching to a new animation track, or if the same track but at the start or end. It does not affect resuming playback that was paused in the middle of an animation. If customs, okay, so from end option only affects when switching to a new animation track. So play from end means that I presume we wait for the prior animation to finish and then play from end option only affects when switching to a new animation track. Right. So if we have that to true, or if the same track but at start or end. But at the start or end. So I wonder if it's as simple as that. Let's go back over here. And my concern is that we're going to start stacking animations. Let's do this. We'll delete all this. And then we're going to say, why did they put it so far at the end? Because that seems like something I do far more often. Custom blend is -1. Default speed is a float of 1. So we're going to say -1, 1.0, true. Can I convert double to float? Okay. Let's see what happens here. Failed to build. Blah. There's no argument given for the parameter loop. Float. String name. Loop. Bro, what? Float. Bull. Ah. My bad. Okay. Let's try again. Nope. Okay. So that's no good, no joy. The animation player keeps track of its current or last played animation with assigned animation. If this method is called with the same name or no name parameter, the assigned animation will resume playing if it was paused. The animation will be updated the next time the animation player is processed. If other variables are updated at the same time, this is called they may be updated too early. To perform the update, immediately call advanced to 0. Q. Q is an animation for playback once this one is done. If a looped animation is currently playing, the queued animation will never play unless the looped animation is somehow stopped. Remove library, seek, set blend time, referenced by their keys. So we can set a blend this way too. Well, hell, let's try that. Animation from, animation to. But is that the same as a play? Set blend time. That returns void. Let's go up here. Guys, animation changed. Library's updated. Let's change animation started. And finished. I'm in a weird space right now with my dev stuff. I think a lot of you guys are kind of here with me. I know that like Devro's doing a lot of he's doing some C# or C++ classes. Styx is doing a lot of work learning. She's actually doing the same animation stuff that I'm kind of doing right now. She's learning that, but for 3D, I believe. But it's like this weird thing where there's a lot of this stuff that's true cross-engine. Like this is just how it's done. And I don't know what it is that I'm learning that's that, right? I don't know. And then there's the engine-specific stuff. And then there's just like you're trying to do something a certain way and you don't know how to fucking do it. So you have to just keep going until you get it. All right, I think I know what I need to do. We want to key everything on the last frame. We were just talking about that. Give me a moment here and I'll explain. So we're going to key everything the torso and head bone, we're going to key it all right here. Like that. And we'll do the same for Huok. Right here. Can we duplicate this before I start? Yeah, okay. Because I'm going to start messing with some stuff here and breaking things. Deletes. And again, we're going to key everything. Oh, no, we screwed it up. There we go. So the reason we're doing that... Oh, no, it's okay. And we started that a while ago. So the point of that is, since we're using this thing called capture for the update, what that means is that if we trigger this animation and another animation was playing, it's going to interpolate between the two from its last frame it was at until this frame keys. And that's kind of the problem that we're running into, and why I'm trying to fix it here, is when the animation loops, it's going back from whatever the keyed stuff was from the last animation that it had been told to play. And it's looping that pattern of starting over that way. So we're about to see if some of the stuff that I did fixes it. Failed to build project. That's great. There's no argument given. So we need to set a default value for loop to equal false. False. Because we're getting some stuff ready, possibly. False. Still doing it. All right, so we're gonna try it Obsidian suggestion, which is that we'll register for a signal when the animation finishes. When that happens, we're gonna have some variables that we check that determine we're looping in an animation, and this is the one to loop. So really, what we could just do is say something like animation loop, and it's going to be a string, and we'll have it be empty to start, and then in here we'll get the animation player and we'll connect the signal. So animation player, I can't remember how to do any of this stuff. String name, signal, callable, blah, 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 blah. So the signal we're connecting is animation finished. And see this, I want to see the list of args again. Give me the list of args, please. Dude, just tell me the list of args. Callable. Can I just say, I forget, can you just do a connection like this? Animation finished? Yes. Plus equals, then the func name. So animation finished. And So if there's an animation loop, does not equal null, then we say animation player play animation loop. I guess it should be loop animation. I started watching this documentary on Ren and Stimpy. This is fascinating stuff. Right, you can quickly... Did I say that? Did I curse myself? Oh no. Oh no. I crushed my wife's hopes of me returning from the conference early. I will be doing host work for a testing conference in Poland. What's the weather right now like? Next month. So a little bit colder than now. It really starts to get damn cold in January here. Ah. Okay, and then if we say loop equals true, then we set loop animation to animation. Can we do a one-liner? We can. Okay. Still 2 days. First one starts at 8 and ends at around. It ends after midnight, and oh my god. Good. That's real late. That's too late for me. If loop animation equals animation. You know what? We need an else. I don't like this already. Okay. So we set it to null if blah blah blah. We don't need to do this anymore. Let's get rid of that. We don't need this. And then we just play animation, no matter what. Okay, so now Well, hang on a second. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Because we're going to be saying to play a couple of times. Walking, play, walk, loop is true. And the same with the idle animation. This is also true. All right, let's see what happens. Failed to build. Excellent. No overload. For animal animation finished. No overload animation finished event handler matches delegate. Overload. Do we just say... I can't remember how you call this stuff. Cannot implicitly convert type void to... Oh, because we're overloading. Void. So do we say overload? Void here and then overload after? Override, I mean? Is not valid. Override. Roger. Let's go look up. It's been 1 week since you. All right, let's see. All right, I'm putting up the songs. Well, that sounds like fun. I don't know that I would be okay doing that stuff, Pooh. I'm not that kind of dude. So I envy you. Say hello to private void. Say hello to my signal with argument. These are custom signals. Emit signal. Custom signals as C#. Signals as C# events. Timeout plus equals some weird ass thing. This is the lambda. While it is still possible to use signals through connect disconnect, C# API uses idiomatic way to implement it using the observer pattern. To provide more type safety, Godot signals are also available through events. How nice. Animation player. Tell me what you got. Animation player. And see what we got. Container and player of animation resources. Animation player is more suited to tween than tween for animations where you know the final values in advance. Animation finished. String animation name. So it returns the name of the animation that finishes. That's why we're having a problem. It's a string. Proton Fig, thank you for the raid. Let's do a shout out. Shout out to Proton Fig. Proton's working on a C64 racing game. The closest thing that it reminds me of from my gaming past is something like RC Pro-Am, rock and roll racing, and also I almost would prefer that you have that on a fixed zoomed out camera, because my favorite racing game from that era was Off-Road or Super Off-Road. I don't know if that was it Super Off-Road in the arcade? The one with the steering wheels and the pedal at the arcade. It was like a 3-player game. Oh, let me get the music going. So, oh, the music's going to be loud. Hang on. Blowing out everyone's eardrums. There we go. That should be better. Um, my ears, mine ears. Ah! I hope your work went good, Proton. So we're trying to fix some issues with some animation tweening things that are going on here. So, what is this? I've never even seen this before. Failed to build. There we go. Failed to build. Okay, just a good old failed to build. No overload. Animation player, animation event finished. Finished event handler. So it matches the delegate. So if we don't do that, I'm trying to remember how to do signals in C# with Godot. I'm feeling like an old man right now. No overload. The hell is it talking about? I don't understand. I mean, it's not. Like if we do override, it's not talking about. We're not overwriting an event. We're wanting to receive it. Let's go back to docs real quick. In addition, you can always access signal names associated with the node type through its nested signal name class. Godot will take care of disconnecting all the signals through events when your nodes are freed, meaning that as you don't need to call disconnect on signals you connect on. You don't even need to use minus equals on the signals you use plus equals on. Okay. Custom signals, that's not what we care about. Available through events. This is going to take me to C# docs, right? PE is good. Ended in tears because Mini Cricket said she didn't win, even though they were doing drills and not even competing. But apparently the kids decided there were winners. Talked to a couple of the moms about the bagleuses. Les bagleux. The French invention. La blague. Famous French cuisine. Bagleux. It's not. Bagleux. We need to make some more. We need to make what we need is an emote for tactics. Something about like that I'm working on it, but it's never happening. What am I getting wrong about this? I mean, it just really ticks me off. Animation finished notifies when the animation finished playing. Finished animation. And let's go to finished animation. We'll just call it finished animation here just to see. Animation. No overload for avatar.finished animation string matches delegate animation player animation finished event handler. So are they saying that we want to go animation finished animation player dot animation finished event handler like that? Matches delegate. No overload. I don't know what overload means. Clearly. I'll just do a search on the web. Godot C# animation finished. $2020. This is yeah. This is all GD script. It's for additional. Why am I having such a hard time with this? Let me look at some of my other code because I've done this so many times in the past. Maybe we've done something like this in here. I mean, we got this, but this is not a Godot function. What about in Mon? Negative. Okay, what about in the game for BSS? I'm rarely connecting to the Godot signals, it seems. So apparently I'm an idiot when it comes to this. All right, let's just search the error. No overload for matches delegate animation player dot animation finished event handler. So can I negative? Let's just search this. Overload. See, I think it's expecting. Oh. Well, no, that's the return. Hang on. That's the return. String. That's good. Matches the delegate. No overload. Once again, what the hell are they talking about? See, he's doing string. Why can't I do string? Is this because we need to include... I mean, we're using Godot. Godot string name. Ah, I got it. It's expecting Godot string name, not just string. So this is wrong. Ah, God. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Now, is the type going to be wrong for how I'm using it now for the C# world stuff? We'll see. Oh, I missed Proton's messages here. Sorry about that, Proton. Give me a second here. We're going to see if this... Damn it! Still doesn't work. All right. We're going to do some debugging here to see if what I think is happening before we call... Wait. Oh, my God. Hang on. Why is it now working? It's sort of working. Really see it in the walk animation. Now see, Pooh's looping wrong. Yeah, Pooh's walk is all wrong. Dang it. Do you have that tick? But see, now it's stopped. So if we go to the walk animation, though, there is something weird going on with walk right now. If we go to the end of walk, that looks right. Only a few guide points, but yes, it drives the track. Red car is AI. Let's check it out. Are you gonna do anything crazy with like a ghost lap? Grumble of Pugs, thanks for the raid. We're just checking out Proton Fig's work on a game that he's doing in C64. Hey, how's it going? Grumble of Pugs, what's up? I usually have a dog in here, but he's AFK. I could try and bring him in here. Let me go grab him so you guys can enjoy some dog. I'll be right back. Is it Pagorly? Pagorly, how's it going? Red Cabin, what's up? Let me give a shout out to Grumble of Pugs. I hope your stream went well. I understand if you were doing a long days of work and you got to head out, because that's usually me when I raid people. Grumble of Pugs. They are. He's a puppy, though. He's doing puppy things, like destroying all kinds of stuff, and very mouthy. He's a rescue. He showed up on our porch one day. All right, have a good one. Thanks, EXO. Got a lot of people I should be shouting out here now that we got a full house. What I'm working on right now is a chat game in Godot. We've got a new animation system going. The idea here is that we have these different sprites that make up the body of this skeleton, and that we're going to be able to swap out those sprite elements with different character designs. So different chest, arms, legs, and head. So this is all just using a template that we've got built out. I built it in Krita. Don't have it open right now. I'm not going to show you that. But right now we're trying to get our animations to tween between each other. When we loop the same animation, the reset pose seems to be playing whatever the previous animation was that played. That was the one that is different from the one that triggered the next one. So we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on there. But there's a little idle animation. But see, this reset problem is happening even when we play it in the editor. So like if I manually scrub and then start it, that still doesn't fix it. But there's like this apply reset. So if we set the reset here to these keys, and then we go here, and then we apply the reset, and then, nope, that's still not right. Golly, gee willikers. Let's try this. Edit. Add reset values. And scrub it back. Apply reset. There we go. So now this is what we want, right? If we're looping this animation, we want it to look like this. We're having a problem getting that going programmatically. So the same with the walk. If we end here and we apply these as the reset value. Oops, we applied the wrong reset. Add reset values, and then we play this. No. Still not right. I swear this is a real thing. Add reset values. Go here. Then we apply them at the start. No. It's making a liar out of me. No, that's right. Yeah. So this loop's all right. So that's kind of the hell that I'm in right now. How's everyone else doing? Pagorly. That's really throwing me for a loop. Yeah. So we've tried a bunch of things to try and figure out what is going on here. The docs seem really lean in Godot about resetting animations. So I think what I need to do is really just dive in and read some more. What I'm worried is that these are things that are known in the industry about how animations should work and aren't mentioned in the docs in Godot. And so there's something I'm just literally just missing about this that I just don't understand. That's my fear. And now the dog wants to leave. He's been wanting to be outside today, so I'm going to let him out again. I just trotted him out so you guys could see him. See, he's being real sweet, but he's in my daughter's classroom, and I'm worried he's going to chew things up. I wish I had a camera in there so I could just know that he's not being bad. Assigned animation. So if playing the current animation, otherwise the animation last played. When set would change the animation, but would not play unless it is currently playing. The name of the currently playing animation, if no animation is playing, the property's value is an empty string. Changing this value does not restart the animation. Okay, that sounds fun. Odie's a nickname for my son. So what I think, one of the theories about what we think going on is again, add reset values. What does bake animation do? Yep. I gotta kick him out. Time to go. No, drop it. Drop it. Come on, out. Out. I heard the very distinct sound of classroom noises. All right, I'll go to bed. Wish you all a wonderful stream and see you next time. All right, Dev, have a good night. So this is what we're wanting to look like. So animation process mode. Okay, that's not what we care about. Reset on save, true. This is an editor setting. If set to true, the scene will be saved with the effects of the reset animation applied, as if it had been seeked as time 0, and then reverted after saving. In other words, the saved scene file will contain the default pose as defined by the reset animation, if any, with the editor keeping the values that the nodes had before saving. Okay. So make easing selection. Easing type. Transition type. Easing. Scale selection. Go to next step. Loop mode, linear. Step. I don't know what that's about. Length. Drent, how's it going? We're learning about animation stuff, trying to figure some things out here. See, even there, it's doing the reset when I come back to it. I'm doing all right. I'm stuck on one of those annoying kind of problems where it's possibly a lack of knowledge. but you worry maybe it's something about the engine. Playback default blend time. The default time in which to blend animations. Playback speed. Scaling ratio. Add animation. Okay, so animations are just data containers and must be added to nodes such as an animation player or animation tree to be played back. Animation tracks have different types, each with its own set of dedicated methods. Check track type to see the available method. So, can we convert, say, these tracks into Bezier? Now it's wigging out. You see that? Update trigger. Hang on a second. What is this? Value track set. Update mode. Track index. Value track get update mode. Returns the update mode of a value track. So hang on. Why are there more update modes in here than I see available? Same as linear interpolation, but it also interpolates from the current value. This is what we're trying to use. If the first key isn't at 0 seconds, which it's not. The problem that we're having appears to be that whatever the last different animation that we played was, the interpolation resets to those points at the start of a looped animation of a different type, of a different name. So that seems to be our issue. Update trigger. Now, hang on a second. Update at the keyframes. We have discrete and continuous. Update trigger. Update at the keyframes. Now, hang on. More raiders. Alex Timina, thank you for the raid. Hopefully I said that right. I hope your days of work are plentiful. I don't know what to say. What brings you around? Hey! I got it right. Excellent. We normally have a dog on camera, but he is insisting on being outside today, and I cannot force him to stay. Practical NPC told me. That's nice. Practical's really cool. I'll give you a shout out. Shout out. I never get to raid Practical anymore because our raiding schedules do not line up. And the end of our streams don't seem to line up. Practical, how's it going? I didn't mean it. It was an accident. Practical, I go on Practical's chat, and I turn into just this sassy. He's identified it as me trying to fit in, I guess. I come in and I'm trying to be the cool boomer dad, and his bot's constantly censoring me. I'll say the most mundane things, and it's like, you can't say that. It's like, oh, okay. I do Unity though. Okay. Emphasis on trying. This is true. 100%. Straight up. Thanks for the follow. So we're in the middle of so what's going on here is we got this animation going on here, and you can see this little glitch that's happening, and now it's stopped. Of course it's stopped. Alex, thanks for the follow. What were you working on, Alex, by the way? You guys already know Practical, it sounds like. Practical's working on a Godot game. It's got a Steam. You can wishlist it. There's a demo you can check out. If you want to throw a plug in there, Practical. If you've been working on anything, Alex, that you want to share as well, you go ahead and throw it in the chat. I always forget to mention that. Working on a game for Vim Jam, an isometric turn-based roguelike. What's the theme for that's for the Vim Lark, right? What's the theme of the jam? Cross paths. It's always got to be like it's like some themes to jam games are always, it feels like a riddle, like when Gandalf is outside the mines and he's like reading the thing. He's like, I don't know what this means. Focus is on checkpoints. Okay. Is he still working? Is he still making games inside of what's that engine that he used a lot? Shoot, I'm trying to remember. I always wanted to try it, but it's like you got to pay like $30 or whatever. Construct, right? What's the pricing on Construct? I don't even think there's a free demo for it. So you just got to jump in. Pricing. Oh no, they went SaaS. Oh no. Now I'm never going to try it. You can't just pay one time. All right, yeah, have a good night. Totally understand. Raid and run. Fine. Go ahead and leave me. I'll take care of the kids. We'll put on some Paw Patrol. It'll be fine. They'll just sit in the back of the van. It'll be good. I'll give them Cheetos. You can try. It'll cost you $25. This is true. Paw Patrol. All right, kids. Don't tell your mom. We're going to be watching Paw Patrol for 3 hours. Yeah, so our problem right now that we're trying to deal with is, you see that how it flips out? there's something that determines the animation that it's keying from. But if we're a looped animation, it's resetting, it's doing the same key points again. Wait a minute. Hang on a sec. We're going to turn off the loop. Let's go back to our code. Hang on. Now, hold on now. There's still some meat on those bones. So what we're going to do is set up our own internal looping, and then we're going to say the animation to play. I think we just figured this out. Well, it's keying. So I think I understand what's going on. So we're doing this capture. And what this is saying is essentially if we do not set a keyframe at 0, then what it does is it tweens the animation points from the last animation, from the previous animation that was running. So what's happening is because we've got this animation set on loop, it's doing everything right. It's saying what was the last animation that we were tweening from, but it's a looped animation, so it continues to go back to that point, and that's where we get like the weird like thing going on, right? So I think if we turn off the loops and we set the loops programmatically, then when this animation finishes and we say, well, we're going to keep playing that animation, it'll start that animation again, but it's going to be the tweening between the points will be from the previous walk animation. So I think the problem was actually this, that we were trying to fix this even though it was set up as a loop. So I think this may have fixed it. I've said this like 7 times though. Anybody who watches my stream is used to this. Okay, so we don't trigger an animation right at start. So this is a good sign. Oh my God, I think we got it. I think we got it, boys. Holy smokes. We did it. Okay, so let me explain a little bit more about what's going on. I'll leave this running. If I start to mess with the animations, it's going to break things. Okay. So while that's going on, so what are we doing exactly? So what I'm doing is trying to make something that people will buy. Right? So I minimized it. Hang on. Sorry. If this is a thing we have to fix. If you minimize a Godot game, it stops processing. It doesn't pause either. So I got to figure out how to keep that running if I minimize it. So I'm going to scroll it off to the side here so it keeps running. Sorry about that. Okay. So the thing that's really going on is we're trying to set it up so that we can have something that looks cool, that's like stream avatars, but we're taking it to 11. This one goes to 11. So the plan is to use skeleton 2D animations, and the streamers will provide assets and artwork that are the arms of a 3/4 view figure, right? Right now, this is based off of a chibi 2-head tall look. But we're using this just template for it. That's why it looks like a Play School OS thing, right? So in theory, let me show you this. I'll open up Krita, and you can do this in Photoshop. We've got templates for both. And right now we are working on so the thing that this does for us is instead of having. So in stream avatars, if you want to have multiple animations going on, it's sprite assets, right? And so you have to animate it on every sprite, right? So what we're going to be able to do is essentially you'll give me a head, right? This program will accept different heads. It'll accept different arms, chests, and it's not going to have to look like this, right? The thing that matters is, and we're gonna indicate this in the materials that you could use as an artist, is where the hinges of the bones are. So what we get for free out of this, you give me head. You just give me you give me a little head there at the top, and yeah. So So anyway, so yeah, the upper legs, the lower legs, the ride of your life. So the upper arms, lower arms, all that stuff, right? So then what we get out of that is we can animate that. And so all you need to provide as a streamer or an artist or whatever is those elements, and then we're animating in Godot. We're doing all the keys and all that stuff in here. So what we have is a volleyball game. We've just got a lot of this stuff going. So now we're going to be able to integrate this into a volleyball game. We started working on a bump animation. So let me play that for you. So the bump, it starts to lean in right like this, right? So imagine your character, your drawings, your style, whatever it is, and it's going to get animated. And so again, all you need to do is provide that initial asset of like, I want my characters to look like this or whatever, right? And the streamer will be able to decide, I get to pick who looks like what, or I want to allow the people in the chat to set up their characters to look, based on these things that I have available that they could pick from. We can also do shaders where we different colors. So if you grayscale the textures that you give us for the sprites, then we can use shaders to override those with different colors and stuff like that. But anyway, so for the volleyball game, right, we could have very specific animations that will work for that particular game. In the case of a volleyball game, you've got like a bump, like an underhanded hit. You've got like a spike where you jump up and you hit the ball down. And the other thing that we get to with this is that the animations will tween between each other. And so when the long-term thing that we're working towards is I'm going to I'm going to host a game jam, and you'll be able to create your own chat games with this system, and it'll be in Lua. And so you'll be able to say, I'll start providing animations that are available to everyone. There'll be a player that you can test everything out in and all this stuff. But there'll be a growing list of animation verbs: a hit, a punch, a kick, a run, a slide, all of that stuff. And I'll host a game jam. It might even be a kind of an extended one so that I can get all the bugs worked out on this. And you'll be able to write a game in Lua and import it into this system. And so basically, you'll just be able to create your own like kind of chat games. You'll be able to throw the sprites into the system, say that when the game starts, here's the list of commands that will be accepted. When this event occurs, play this animation. Oh my God, Purple Elf, thank you for the raid. Dear God, it's Raid City, USA. All of this crazy stuff will happen. It's going to be super cool. Raid message, excellent. So that's kind of what's going on here. What was going on? What were you working on, Purple Elf? Raid message. Some more raid messages there. Cool arcades in background. This is true. We have a Miss Pac-Man redeem. I play Miss Pac-Man, try to break my high score. Currently, we're in the 70K range for the high score for Miss Pac-Man right now. Now I'll repeat it again for the Raiders, right? I just went through it all. Oh my God, and Sean did the redeem for Miss Pac-Man. Let me give it a shout out to Purple Elf. What were you working on, Purple? If there's anything you want to plug, go ahead and do that. We're fine with all that. What am I getting wrong with Purple Elf? Oh, there's only one E. Clever girl. All right, shout out to Purple Elf. Thank you for the raid. There's guys in my way. So we're working on We're working on a chat game in Godot, a Twitch chat game in Godot. It's a volleyball game, but it's going to be a lot more than that. We're going after the model of stream avatars, but we're trying to take things in a different direction. We're going with so these are just a template for sprites that artists can put in themselves, so you can replace this with whatever you want. We've modeled with a more of a chibi ratio, but there's no reason why you couldn't make the head smaller. But right now we're just trying to figure out. We had a couple of glitches with the animation system, but we appear to have gotten them worked out. The TNG door sound, damn, that's good. Nobody gets that. Everyone's like, "What is that?" And you're one of the few people that actually gets it. That is to let me know when a chat message comes in, because I'm an old guy and I don't constantly look at chat. No, I know, right? But it's because it's like, I don't know. But it always, when I hear it, I just think of enter. Enter. That's my Picard. That's all I can do. Yeah, I'm sane enough to hold the urges for next time. No poo. I have the urge to redeem cleaning. All right, let's do a round of Miss Pac-Man, and then I hope you guys stick around because I want to raid somebody really special. So I hope we can do a really big raid for him. He's working with a friend on an NES game, legit NES game. They're doing 6502. It's L's. It's Thursday. It's L's. Thursday is L's night. On Thursdays we wear L's. Might make sense to play that on stream if possible. If chat is active, it might get a bit repetitive for viewers. Play what? What's what do you mean? Oh, the sound. Yeah, if we're busy, like, I see what you're saying. To pipe it out just to me. I think I can work that out. I need to use something like the potato thing, right? You haven't heard the I use the ICQ sound for certain things as well. Let's do the Miss Pac-Man redeem and then we'll raid L's. I hope we don't lose a lot of people when I do this. But we got that redeem. We're gonna honor the redeem, and then we'll do the L's thing. Let me get the camera set up. The Pac Cam. Normally this is just good to go, but I set it up to show my doggy. We're giving some head pats to the dog. There we go, starting to tighten the camera up. Zoom and enhance. There we go. And then I'll put the lapel on the camera. Turn that on. I kind of like it. Makes it more background friendly. I think a lot of people lurk because of it, because they know to go back and check the chat when they hear it. But I get also why people wouldn't like it. I really wish that because you can split your VOD and your audio that you don't want to have included in the VOD separately. And I wish chat would allow you to mute one of them if you wanted to. Totally up to you. I appreciate it, Purple. Let me go over there. We're going to have chat on there, so I'll be able to continue to talk to you guys. We'll do a round of Miss Pac-Man, and then we're going to raid L's. And again, I hope there's enough people around so we can give them a big-ass raid. So I'm not going to bomb the game on purpose. I'm going to try to do my best. All right, let me just get the chat going over here. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear okay. How's the... Already off to a weird start, I'll tell you that. And I don't have the speed mod on this. Normally when you go play Miss Pac-Man on the arcades, especially now, if you can find a machine, Miss Pac-Man is like way faster because they changed one of the timings on the processor so that it's a much faster play. And I want to enable that on it so that these rounds don't take so long. Ah, shit, right at the beginning. How embarrassing. I promise I'm a good Pac-Man player normally. I am a bit rusty because I never get the redeems anymore. I swear. And of course, chat's not loading up. All right, I'm just gonna get this moving. I'm like two-handing this, trying to get the page going. Ah, this is awful. What an awful run. How embarrassing. Ludicrous display. All right, we'll end this board right here. But you need that death to keep you honest. That was a very poor score. What's going on with the score right now? Oh, I'm doing awful. This is an awful run. Normally I'm in the 14Ks in at the 14,000s at the beginning, but we are not there. Golly. All right. Well, this is just a tarnished way to end things. Tarnished cricket, like a Metal Gear. And of course, I can't see the chat right now. This is great. Everything's going great. This is fantastic. I swear I'm a better player than this. It's the pressure of playing for so many people. Normally it's just my crew, so I don't feel any pressure. But it's like, oh, you got like 40 people watching you. Try to stay calm. I don't want to lose that strawberry. Thank you. Now I'm in a pickle. Still no chat. Sorry, guys. Els has also found a publisher for a tabletop game. It's a tabletop RPG game called Whisperstone, and what's cool about it is that it's got it's like a great way to introduce RPG gaming into people who are new to it. So it has all these really cool concepts and all right, that's it. I'm out. This is my problem when I'm streaming and trying to talk at the same time. Sorry for the worst game ever I've ever played on stream. Let's go ahead and try to raid Els. It wasn't the worst. Oh God, it was the worst. Did I forget about? No, I didn't. All right. Well, that was a pretty crappy round. That was actually probably I think that was down there at the bottom. But yeah, you can see the high score that I typically am shooting for. Normally, I can at least get around 54K. There was somewhere around there. I swear this doesn't usually. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks to everybody for hanging out. Thank you so much for the raids, everyone. It is dinner time as well for the family. So I'm going to go ahead and get the raid going for Els. I definitely want you guys to check him out. Super cool guy. Oh, there's a double dare challenge. Ah, shit. Sorry about that. I missed it. All right. Well, anyways, please give Els check it out. Check him out, and I'll see you guys next time. It's a dual stream. Got the programmer on the right side and the artist on the left side, and it's always a fun time. So I definitely recommend it. So, anyways, much love. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on Friday. Bye.